Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where people often wear masks, concealing their true selves beneath layers of carefully curated behavior. But beneath those masks lies something more telling their character. And if you want to discern the true nature of a person, you don't need a lifetime. You only need to observe 5 specific things. The way a person treats those who can do nothing for them is one of the clearest indicators of their true character. In our interactions with others, there are often underlying dynamics at play: what we stand to gain, how we want to be perceived, and the social expectations that shape our behavior. However, when we encounter individuals who hold no power over us, those dynamics fall away. These are the moments when pretense fades and a person's genuine values and nature are revealed. Consider this: when someone interacts with a person who can offer them nothing, no advantage, no recognition, no favor, there is no external incentive to be kind or considerate. Whatever actions they choose in such scenarios stem entirely from who they are at their core. A kind and compassionate person will extend respect and understanding to others regardless of their status or ability to reciprocate. They recognize the inherent dignity of every individual, seeing value in others not because of what they can gain, but because they believe in the principle of treating people well. On the other hand, some individuals may dismiss or mistreat those who appear powerless, insignificant, or dependent. This behavior often stems from arrogance, insecurity, or a deep-seated need to assert dominance over others. Such individuals might see no benefit in being kind to someone they perceive as beneath them, so they treat these people with indifference or even cruelty. In doing so, they expose their inability to view relationships through a lens of shared humanity. It's not just about grand gestures of kindness. The small, everyday interactions matter. How does someone treat a waiter, a janitor, or a stranger in passing? Are they polite and considerate, or do they treat others as invisible or inferior? These subtle moments hold the most truth because they are often unguarded and unscripted. A person's behavior in these instances speaks volumes about their inner world, their values, insecurities, and the kind of energy they bring into the lives of those around them. There's also an element of self-discipline involved in treating everyone with respect, regardless of their ability to reciprocate. Kindness in such cases is a choice, often requiring effort and awareness. It reflects a level of emotional maturity and self-regulation, as it's easy to dismiss or ignore someone who can't do anything for you. It's much harder to consistently choose compassion, patience, and respect, especially in a fast-paced and often hierarchical world. Moreover, this principle ties into a deeper philosophical truth: every individual has intrinsic worth, regardless of their societal position or contributions. Those who genuinely understand this act with a sense of moral clarity. They don't need external validation or incentives to treat others well, because their behavior is rooted in a personal commitment to do what's right. In essence, how someone treats those who cannot benefit them is a reflection of their internal world. It reveals whether they live by principles of respect and compassion, or whether their kindness is merely transactional, dependent on what they stand to gain. A person's response to failure is one of the most profound indicators of their character. Failure is an inevitable part of life, and how we handle it reflects who we are on the deepest level. While success often masks flaws and insecurities, failure strips away pretense, forcing us to confront ourselves. It is in these moments of vulnerability that the true nature of a person is revealed. Some people respond to failure with bitterness, blame, or self-pity. They refuse to take accountability for their shortcomings, instead pointing fingers at others or external circumstances. This reaction reveals an unwillingness to face reality and a fragile ego that cannot tolerate the discomfort of personal responsibility. Blame becomes a shield against growth, and self-pity offers a temporary escape from the pain of failure. However, these responses often lead to stagnation, as they prevent the person from learning and moving forward. They choose to see themselves as victims trapped by their circumstances rather than as individuals capable of overcoming adversity. On the other hand, those with resilience and integrity confront failure head-on. They recognize it not as a definitive judgment on their worth, but as a valuable opportunity for growth. These individuals possess the humility to admit their mistakes, the courage to analyze what went wrong, and the determination to try again. They understand that failure is a teacher, offering lessons that success often cannot. By embracing failure, they transform it into a stepping stone toward improvement and mastery. This mindset reflects a deep sense of responsibility and a commitment to personal development, which are hallmarks of strong character. The way someone responds to failure also reveals their relationship with effort and perseverance. Do they give up when faced with setbacks, or do they persist despite the difficulties? True character is built in the act of continuing even when the outcome is uncertain. Those who rise after falling demonstrate an inner strength that cannot be easily shaken. They have a clear sense of purpose that fuels their determination, allowing them to endure discomfort and disappointment in pursuit of something greater. Another important aspect of responding to failure is emotional regulation. Failure often triggers intense emotions like frustration, shame, or anger. How a person manages these feelings provides insight into their emotional maturity. Someone who lashes out at others, becomes consumed by their emotions, or seeks revenge on those they perceive as contributors to their failure reveals an inability to process challenges constructively. In contrast, those who remain composed, reflect on their emotions, and channel their energy into productive action exhibit remarkable self-control and wisdom. Failure is an unavoidable part of the human experience. It levels the playing field, confronting everyone with the same challenge: how to respond when things don't go as planned. The choice lies in how we approach it. Those who treat failure as a chance to grow reveal a strong, resilient character. They inspire others with their ability to turn setbacks into opportunities and to rise stronger after every fall. In the end, it is not failure that defines a person, it is how they choose to respond. How someone handles power reveals more about their true character than almost any other aspect of their behavior. Power is an amplifier, magnifying a person's intentions and priorities. When someone is granted authority or control, whether in a professional setting, a relationship, or any other context, it strips away many of the restraints that normally guide their behavior. In these moments, their core values and inner motivations come to light, for power does not corrupt, it unveils. When individuals gain power, the question becomes, what do they do with it? Some people use power to serve themselves, seeking to dominate or exploit others for their own benefit. This behavior often stems from deep insecurities or unresolved personal issues. For these individuals, power becomes a tool to assert superiority, fill emotional voids, or mask feelings of inadequacy. They may belittle subordinates, demand excessive control, or prioritize their own desires above the well-being of others. This misuse of power reveals not only a lack of empathy, but also a fragile sense of self, as their need for dominance often hides an internal fear of vulnerability or failure. In contrast, there are those who wield power with a sense of responsibility, humility, and service. These individuals understand that power is not a license to exploit, but an opportunity to uplift others. They use their authority to create environments where people feel valued, respected, and empowered. This approach demonstrates emotional maturity, self-confidence, and an intrinsic sense of morality. These leaders don't seek to control, they seek to guide. They recognize that their role is not to stand above others, but to stand beside them, offering support and fostering growth. Power also tests a person's ability to resist temptation. When someone is in a position of authority, they often have opportunities to act unethically or selfishly without immediate consequence. Whether they choose to indulge in these temptations or uphold their principles speaks volumes about their integrity. A person who prioritizes honesty and fairness, even when no one is watching, reveals a deeply rooted commitment to doing what is right. Conversely, those who abuse their power for personal gain or disregard ethical boundaries expose a lack of self-discipline and moral grounding. Another critical aspect of handling power is how one responds to challenges or opposition. A person with a strong character remains open to feedback and dissent, understanding that true leadership involves listening and adapting. They do not see differing opinions as threats, but as opportunities for growth. On the other hand, individuals who react defensively or vindictively to challenges often reveal their insecurity and inability to manage power constructively. Ultimately, power is a magnifier of character, not a creator of it. It brings out what is already present in a person, whether that be generosity and wisdom or selfishness and cruelty. To observe how someone handles power is to witness their essence. Those who wield power with integrity, humility, and a sense of service inspire trust and admiration, while those who abuse it diminish themselves and those around them. How someone speaks about others when they are not around is one of the most revealing indicators of their character. These moments when they are free from the immediate presence or influence of the person they're discussing often expose their true thoughts, values, and intentions. Words carry weight, and the way a person chooses to use them reflects the kind of energy they bring into their relationships and the world around them. When someone consistently speaks poorly about others behind their backs, it often signals deeper insecurities or unresolved inner conflicts. Negative gossip, for instance, can be a way to elevate oneself by diminishing others. This behavior stems from a comparative mindset, where an individual measures their worth against others and finds satisfaction in tearing others down. It's a temporary boost to their ego, but reveals an inability to focus on self-improvement. Speaking ill of others in their absence also suggests a lack of loyalty and integrity. If someone is willing to criticize or betray someone who trusts them, it raises questions about whether they can be trusted themselves. Beyond personal insecurity, gossiping or speaking negatively about others often creates a toxic environment. It fosters mistrust, division, and negativity. People who engage in this behavior may not realize the far-reaching consequences of their words. What they fail to see is that their willingness to undermine others reflects poorly on their own credibility. Those who hear such talk often wonder, if they speak this way about others, what are they saying about me when I'm not around? This undermines relationships and erodes the respect others may have for them. In contrast, speaking positively or neutrally about others, even when they're not present, demonstrates emotional maturity, confidence, and integrity. A person who refrains from unnecessary criticism and instead chooses to focus on understanding or empathy shows that they value relationships over momentary gossip. Even when faced with someone they dislike or disagree with, choosing to respond with measured and fair words reveals a depth of character. It shows an ability to separate emotions from principles and a willingness to see the humanity in others, even amidst conflict. This principle becomes even more powerful in professional or leadership contexts. Leaders who uplift and advocate for their team members in their absence build trust and loyalty. It signals that they value collaboration and are invested in the success of those they work with. By contrast, leaders who criticize or demean their colleagues behind closed doors breed resentment and weaken the foundation of their team. How someone speaks about others when they're not around is more than just a reflection of their opinions about others. It's a mirror of their self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and moral compass. It reveals whether they approach relationships with generosity or judgment, with empathy or envy. Words are not neutral, they carry intent and energy, shaping not only the relationships we have with others, but also the relationship we have with ourselves. Those who choose to speak with fairness and integrity, even when no one else is listening, demonstrate a strength of character that earns respect and trust. How a person faces the inevitable truths of life, aging, loss, and death reveals the depth of their character, philosophy, and emotional resilience. These universal experiences confront every individual, stripping away illusions of control and permanence. They force us to grapple with vulnerability, uncertainty, and the finite nature of existence. The way someone chooses to engage with these realities provides profound insight into their inner world and how they derive meaning from life. Aging is an inescapable process that challenges our sense of identity. For some, it becomes a source of denial, resistance, or fear. They may cling desperately to youth, trying to mask the outward signs of aging while ignoring the wisdom and growth that come with it. This reaction often stems from an over-identification with external appearances or societal standards that glorify youth. Such individuals struggle to accept the natural progression of life, revealing an underlying discomfort with change and impermanence. On the other hand, those who approach aging with grace and acceptance display a deep understanding of life's rhythms. They focus not on the years they lose, but on the insights they gain, using their experiences to guide and inspire others. This perspective reflects humility, self-awareness, and a profound respect for the journey of life. Loss, whether of relationships, possessions, or dreams, is another test of character. Everyone encounters loss at some point, but the way they respond to it can vary widely. Some people become consumed by bitterness, unable to move beyond their grief or disappointment. They may retreat into themselves, building walls to avoid further pain, or lash out at the world in anger and frustration. These reactions, while understandable, often hinder growth and healing, trapping the individual in a cycle of despair. In contrast, others find a way to integrate their losses into their lives, using them as catalysts for growth and transformation. They don't ignore the pain, but embrace it as a necessary part of being human. By finding meaning in their suffering, they develop resilience and compassion, allowing their experiences to deepen their connection to others and to life itself. Death, the final inevitability, is perhaps the ultimate test of one's character and worldview. How a person relates to the reality of mortality speaks volumes about their capacity for courage and their approach to meaning. Some deny or avoid the subject altogether, living in a way that refuses to acknowledge life's fragility. This avoidance can lead to shallow or misguided priorities, as they focus on distractions rather than addressing deeper questions. Others, however, confront the reality of death with humility and courage, allowing it to shape how they live. By acknowledging their mortality, they develop a greater appreciation for the present moment and for the connections that give life meaning. They learn to prioritize what truly matters, recognizing that life's brevity enhances its value. Ultimately, how someone faces aging, loss, and death reveals their ability to navigate life's greatest challenges. It shows whether they are ruled by fear or guided by understanding, whether they resist life's flow or embrace it fully. Those who confront these truths with grace demonstrate wisdom, strength, and an ability to find beauty even in the most difficult aspects of existence. True character is most clearly revealed through a person's actions, particularly in the most unremarkable moments and the most challenging circumstances. Words can be persuasive and appearances can be deceiving, but it is through consistent behavior that the essence of someone's nature truly emerges. The mundane, day-to-day decisions and the extraordinary trials expose who a person really is, far beyond the surface-level image they may project. In ordinary situations, such as the way someone interacts with people in their everyday life, whether they're ordering coffee, taking the time to help a colleague, or simply engaging in routine conversations, their true character is on full display. It's easy to be kind and polite when there's something to gain or when people are watching. But true integrity shows itself when there are no witnesses, when no recognition or reward is expected. These actions, though seemingly small, reveal whether a person's kindness is genuine or simply performative. The consistency of their behavior in these situations, how they treat those they view as insignificant or unimportant, speaks to the depth of their character. In times of adversity, when everything seems to fall apart or when someone is under immense pressure, the way they respond is a true measure of their strength and principles. Challenging situations often prompt an emotional response, and while it's natural to feel anger, frustration, or fear, it's in how these emotions are managed that a person's true nature is revealed. Some people lash out, react impulsively, or resort to unethical behavior when faced with difficulty. This impulsive response can show a lack of self-control and a deep-seated inability to handle adversity with grace. However, individuals who approach challenges with poise, responsibility, and a sense of purpose reveal emotional maturity and resilience. They don't allow external circumstances to define their behavior. Instead, they rise above their emotions and take meaningful, well-considered actions. How someone deals with failure is another powerful indicator of their character. Failure is often viewed negatively, but it is also one of life's greatest teachers. A person's response to failure is crucial. Do they accept it as a stepping stone to growth, or do they seek excuses and shift blame? Those who view failure as a lesson rather than a personal indictment tend to be more grounded and open to self-improvement. They take responsibility for their mistakes, learn from them, and move forward with renewed determination. On the other hand, those who refuse to accept failure or hide from it often reveal a lack of self-awareness and an unwillingness to face uncomfortable truths about themselves. In times of success, a person's humility can also be a revealing trait. Some people become arrogant or self-congratulatory when things are going well, basking in the glory of their achievements. Others, however, remain humble and grounded, recognizing that success is often the result of collective effort, timing, and sometimes even luck. Humility and success, and the ability to share credit and recognize the contributions of others, is a powerful testament to a person's character. Actions, both in ordinary moments and under pressure, offer a true glimpse into someone's values, priorities, and emotional intelligence. While words and appearances can be deceiving, consistent behavior reveals the depth of a person's integrity and strength. It's through these actions, small and large, that a person's character is revealed, ultimately defining who they are at their core.